Hey there, imagine this. You're walking down the narrow aisle of a plane, looking for your seat, squeezing past other passengers, and finally settling in for a long flight. You buckle up, glance out the window, and maybe start thinking about the destination waiting for you. Flying is incredible when you really think about it. We can travel thousands of miles in just a few hours, something that would have taken weeks or even months not so long ago. But let's be honest, the experience itself isn't always as glamorous as it sounds. Long flights can be tiring, uncomfortable, and sometimes even a little gross if you don't know what to watch out for. That's why today, I want to share a handful of secrets most passengers don't know. These aren't just random facts. They're practical tips that can help you stay more comfortable, healthier, and maybe even a little smarter the next time you fly. And if you want more insider tips like this in the future, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. Let's start with the window seat, the favorite of so many travelers. There's something magical about it, right? Watching the clouds roll by, seeing cities twinkle below at night, or catching the sunrise from above the earth. It feels like having your own little corner of the sky. But what most people don't realize is that window seats come with a hidden downside. They can get uncomfortably cold. At cruising altitude, the outside of the plane is exposed to brutal temperatures, as low as -40 degrees Fahrenheit. Even though you're not directly exposed, the cold radiates through the walls, and after a few hours, you'll feel it in your bones. The fix is simple but often overlooked. Always pack something warm, even if you're flying to a tropical paradise. A light sweater, a hoodie, or a scarf can make a world of difference. Nothing ruins a flight faster than shivering in your seat for hours. And here's another tip. Don't hesitate to ask a flight attendant for a blanket. They keep extras on board for exactly this reason. It's better to look a little prepared than to spend the entire flight freezing. Arriving rested and comfortable means you'll actually enjoy your trip the moment you land. Now, let's talk about drinks on the plane. Picture this. The flight attendant comes by with a cart and offers you coffee or tea. It smells great and it's tempting, especially on an early morning flight when you're running low on energy. But here's a secret you might want to think twice about. The water used for hot drinks doesn't always come from the cleanest source. Planes have big water tanks that supply the onboard faucets, and those tanks aren't cleaned as often as they should be. Multiple studies have tested the quality of airplane water, and the results aren't exactly comforting. We're talking bacteria like E. coli, staph, and other contaminants you definitely don't want in your body. So what should you do instead? Stick to sealed drinks. Bottled water, canned soda, or juice boxes are your best bet because they come straight from the manufacturer. They're clean, safe, and you know exactly what you're getting. It's especially important to stay hydrated when you're flying because the dry cabin air dehydrates you faster than you think. So go ahead and drink plenty, but make sure it's from a sealed container. Now here's something most people don't think about until it's too late. Airplane hygiene. Sure, we all know planes aren't spotless. Hundreds of people pass through each flight, and cleaning crews only have a short window between takeoffs. But do you know what the dirtiest place on the plane really is? Surprisingly, it's not the bathroom. It's the tray table right in front of you. Think about it. Passengers use tray tables for eating, playing games, working on laptops, and sometimes even changing diapers when they're desperate. With so much activity, it's no wonder these little fold-down tables are crawling with germs. Studies have found that tray tables often carry more bacteria than the toilet flush button. And because of quick turnaround times, those trays aren't always wiped down as often as you'd hope. Another overlooked germ hotspot is the seat back pocket. It looks like the perfect place to tuck away your phone, snacks, or magazine. But here's the truth. Those pockets rarely get cleaned. People use them as trash bins, stuffing in dirty tissues, food wrappers, and all sorts of things you'd never want to touch. Then the next passenger, maybe you, comes along and puts their belongings in the very same pocket. The solution? Pack a small pack of sanitizing wipes and a travel-sized hand sanitizer. Wipe down your tray table, armrests, and even the seatbelt buckle before you get too comfortable. It might feel a little cautious, But once you think about how many hands have touched those surfaces, you'll be glad you did. And keep your personal items out of the seatback pocket whenever possible. Traveling by air is one of those experiences that can either feel exciting and enjoyable or stressful and exhausting. What often makes the difference isn't the airline or the seat you choose. It's how well you prepare and the little choices you make along the way. A wise traveler knows that even small actions, when done at the right time, can completely transform a long, uncomfortable trip into one that feels smoother and more enjoyable from start to finish. The first thing to remember is hygiene. Airplanes are used by hundreds of people every single day, and while crews do their best to clean, there simply isn't enough time between flights to scrub every surface. This is why it pays to carry something as simple as sanitizing wipes in your bag. The moment you take your seat, wipe down the tray table. It's one of the dirtiest parts of the entire plane, since passengers place food, drinks, and even their personal belongings on it. The seat pocket in front of you is another hidden danger zone. People often stuff used tissues, wrappers, and even leftover food in there. Taking just a minute to clean these spaces gives you peace of mind and lowers the chance of picking up germs that could ruin your trip. A healthy traveler is a happy traveler, and prevention is always easier than dealing with illness on vacation. Another issue almost every passenger dreads is the dreaded delay. Nothing can sour the excitement of a trip faster than staring at a departure board that keeps flashing "delayed." But here's something many people don't realize. Flight timing plays a huge role in whether you'll end up waiting. Delays tend to build up as the day goes on. If a plane leaves late in the morning, that single delay can ripple through the airline's entire schedule for the rest of the day. By choosing a morning flight, you greatly reduce the risk of being caught in that domino effect. There's another bonus. The skies are usually calmer earlier in the day, which means fewer bumps and less turbulence. For nervous flyers, that extra smoothness can make a world of difference. Yes, waking up early might feel inconvenient, but when you land on time and stress-free, you'll be glad you made the choice. Now, let's talk about seating. It's easy to assume that the best experience is always at the front of the plane, where premium passengers enjoy wide seats, gourmet meals, and personalized service. But for those of us flying in economy, there's a surprising advantage to sitting farther back. The galley, where flight attendants prepare drinks and meals, is usually located at the rear of the aircraft. That means passengers seated near the back often find the crew more available and attentive. Need an extra glass of water? Want a snack? Being close to the galley makes it easier for the attendants to serve you quickly without weaving through dozens of passengers. Of course, you shouldn't expect first-class treatment, but it's a little travel secret that can make your experience in economy more pleasant than you might expect. Comfort is another key factor in surviving long flights, and one item almost every traveler relies on is the neck pillow. It may look simple, but it can be the difference between a restful nap and hours of tossing and turning. However, here's something few people realize. Inflating your pillow all the way before takeoff can backfire. As the plane climbs and cabin pressure changes, the air inside the pillow expands. What felt comfortable on the ground can suddenly become stiff and rock hard, or worse, burst at the seams. The smarter approach is to leave your pillow slightly underinflated before departure. Once you're cruising at altitude, it will naturally firm up, giving you perfect support for your head and neck. This small adjustment ensures you arrive at your destination rested instead of sore. Food is another area where passengers often feel disappointed. Airplane meals have a reputation for being bland, and many travelers simply accept this as part of the experience. But there's a clever way to improve it. Order a special meal when you book your ticket. Even if you don't have dietary restrictions, you can request vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free, kosher, or other meal options. These are usually prepared in smaller quantities, which often makes them fresher and tastier than the standard meals. They are also served first, meaning you'll get to eat earlier while everyone else is still waiting. That extra bit of attention and freshness can make the dining experience surprisingly pleasant. Sometimes, thinking just a little differently can completely change how you feel about something as ordinary as airplane food. When you put all of these habits together, they create a smoother, more enjoyable travel experience. By wiping down your space, you protect your health. By booking morning flights, you avoid delays and turbulence. By sitting closer to the rear, you may enjoy friendlier service. By adjusting your pillow inflation, you rest more comfortably. By ordering special meals, you improve your dining experience. None of these tips cost much, yet they can completely change how you feel about air travel. And remember, travel isn't just about reaching your destination. The journey itself is part of the adventure. Flying can be tiring, but with the right approach, it can also be a time to relax, prepare, and even enjoy yourself. Thank you so much for joining me today and spending your time here. I truly appreciate you being part of this community of smart travelers. If you found these tips useful, please hit the like button. It helps the channel grow and reach more people who love to travel just like you. Share this video with your friends and family so they too can discover these simple but powerful secrets. And most importantly, make sure to subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you'll never miss future videos packed with tips, guides, and insights to make every trip easier, safer, and more enjoyable. Wishing you safe skies, smooth journeys, and unforgettable adventures ahead. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.